Okay, I'm ready. Well, first of all, this all happened on June 30th. It was Thursday, 2011. I was coming home from Laughlin, and I was driving through Dry Lake. It was around 3 o'clock in the morning. Dry Lake is, the reason it's called Dry Lake is because from a distance or up in the higher levels, it looks like there's water there, like it's a lake, but it's just a mirage. And the reason I was driving at 3 o'clock in the morning is because while I was in Laughlin, my air conditioner went out of my car, so I wasn't going to drive during the day through the desert to get back. So here we are. Like I said, it was around 3 in the morning, and about halfway through Dry Lake. It's a long piece of desert, straight highway, and like I say, I was about halfway through when it started to rain, so I pulled my car off to the side of the road. A semi passed me. It was the only other vehicle on the road that night, by the way. Passed me, and as soon as that did, the truck passed me. I got out, and I put my T-tops back on. First I put the driver's side on, then I ran over to the passenger side, and I put the passenger side on. And as I locked the passenger side T-top, I could see directly across from me in the desert this oval shape. It seemed to be the best way to explain it. It was invisible. It was meaning I could see the shape. I could see the rocks and the desert plantation behind it. I could see the mountains in the distance behind it. I wasn't able to determine whether this thing was sitting on the ground or whether it was up in the air or whether it was a mirage. The heat waves coming from the ground, the raindrops on my glasses at that time. But it wasn't a mirage. It was there. So I decided I wanted to see what this thing was. I wanted to get a closer look at it. And so I crossed the road, and I started walking into the desert towards this shape. The strange thing was, as I walked towards this shape, it never changed size. You walk towards anything, and it just gets bigger. But this thing didn't. So I stopped, and I thought about that, and I was thinking that's very unusual. And just around the time it decided to stop, and I didn't know whether I was going to go back to the car yet, or I didn't have time to think about whether I should go back to the car or keep going. Everything started to get dark, like before you pass out, I guess, or when you go to the dentist and they give you a shot, or they give you some gas, I should say, and you know how that blackness closes in. Well, I wasn't passing out. I was fully aware of who I was, where I was, and I could see my feet, I could see my hands in front of me, but everything else started to get very, very black, except for this shape. It was still there. It was still transparent. It started to shimmer a little bit, and right then, these two objects came out, and they looked human. 2 arms, 2 legs, a head. There was no distinguishing features. They too were like transparent, and they started to approach me and not saying anything. And I don't know what happened to me then. You're out in the desert at 3 o'clock in the morning. You come across something like this. You would think your instincts would tell you, run, get the hell out of there. I wasn't scared, although I should have been. I couldn't do anything. I just stood there. It was like I was frozen, and my mind wasn't giving me those signals to run or to yell out, "Hey, hi, how are you? Who are you? What's going on?" None of that. I was just, I don't know. It sounds like I should be able to describe how I felt, but I can't. And there's a lot of things that I can't explain in words. I can just kind of tell you what happened. So these two things came towards me, and they were pretty close. I mean, they were within arm's reach, and still I couldn't make out any distinguished features. The one on the left reached out towards me and grabbed my hand, and it felt very, very strange. Once again, I'm trying to think of how to explain to you what it felt like when I was touched. But I can't. I've never had that feeling before. I can't give you an example of what it felt like. I just can't do it. It was a new experience. It didn't hurt. Not that it felt good. It didn't feel bad. And this feeling was, I don't know what it did to me, but I followed these two aliens. I would imagine that's what they were. Back into this oval, and I got to the oval, and here's another thing that I can't explain. It still didn't change the shape or the size from when I first seen it, but we did pass through into this oval, and now this is where it gets really crazy. I'm shaking just thinking about it.